So I'm like I previously stated in other videos. I'm gonna go in depth into what individual employability, TDIU, uh, what else? Total and permanent, temporary 100, extra scheduler ratings for TDIU, and the different paths to 100%. All right. In this video, I'm going to focus on the individual employability and TDIU. On the following videos, I'll explain the other different paths. The one thing I do want to say is that not that you need to have a plan, but you need to know where you're going to go with your 100%. Um, because there's a lot of people that you need to understand what your service connections will get you, you know? Sometimes people will push to try to get the max for their service connections, and you need to know that certain service connections won't get you a full 100%. So you know, in that case, you will need to have a total of of multiple service connections. And if you're that fucked up, by all means, go for it. Go for the service connections, but just understand that getting to that 100, there's different paths, and it's not just on a stubborn. Where I get a lot of people that hit me up, like, oh, but I deserve this, on a service connected disability, but you're not meeting the requirements. Everything that the legwork that you need to do, and you need to find out what these requirements are, which I will speak of later. I'm not knowledgeable on every disability that there is out there, and what gets you what for these disabilities. But military disability made easy.com is a great website that could break it down for you, and breaks down the claims for from the VA website, um, which will show you your disabilities and what you can claim for. It gives you the forms and everything. But military disability madeeasy.com is a much easier a website, because it breaks it down completely for you, Barney style, and it gives you something more in depth. You understand? So again, the websites that I'm going to go into after this VA website is the same thing like military disability madeeasy.com. All right, guys. So let's go. Let's start off with individual employability on the VA website. Um, Individual employability and TDIU. If you can't work because of a disability related to your service in the military, you qualify for what's called the individual employability. This means you may be able to get disability compensation or benefits at the same level as a veteran who has a 100% disability rating. Um, and we will break down what that is. You have at least one service-connected disability rating, that is 60% or more, or you have several, two or more service-connected disability where one of them is rated at 40% or more, and you have a combined of those service-connected disabilities that is 70% or more. This is what qualifies you for the individual employability or TDIU. And you also can't hold down a steady job that supports you financially, known as substantially gainful employment, because of your service-connected disability. Um, and they explain odd jobs, marginal unemployment don't count. We'll go into that in a few. So this website right here, vetfirst.org, explains what TDIU and IU is, and it gives you a great explanation. VA benefits are available to compensate a veteran at the 100% level if he or she is not able to work because of service-connected conditions, even without a 100% scheduler rating. There are people out there that have, such as myself, a 100% and still work. And I don't need to have this marginal gainful employment where I am explaining. And what that would be is where having a paying job does not automatically disqualify you if the conditions are considered marginal or sheltered. There are veterans that have high-paying jobs and have the 100%. You know, um, so again, I'll explain that in a few. But this is what TDIU and IU means. If your service-connected disabilities does not allow you to work, or um, does not allow you to be gainfully employed, substantially gainfully employed, which means hold a job that pays at least an amount equal to the annual poverty level set by the federal government. In order to qualify for TDIU, this is what I had previously explained about the 60% and the combined 70%. You also, what they mean by unemployability or an inability to substantially maintain gainful employment means that the evidence of unemployment due to service-connected conditions, employment history records, for example, and medical evidence that the veteran's service-connected condition renders him or her totally disabled and unemployable. Generally, what they mean is that you could get a doctor's opinion letter, or a nexus letter. Having a paying job does not automatically disqualify a claimant, and this is where it breaks down for the TDIU. What I was explaining before is a complete IU. Now, also for TDIU, which qualifies from previous, but breaks down TDIU even more, is that if the wages are considered marginal, low paying, or sheltered, protected from usual requirements, employment are exceptions to the TDIU qualification requirements. Examples employment that are allowed under TDIU: a job that pays substantially less than the prevailing poverty level, a job that is protected from requirements that someone else in that position would be expected to satisfy, a job working for a friend or a relative may not be substantially gainful employment. You need to also be careful because you could be working for a friend and doing construction work, but you have a back problem. You know, you have a service-connected disability for your back. You need to be careful because TDIU can be revoked or can be terminated if you are caught working. Doing working for a friend or a relative, where it completely negates what you're applying for TDIU. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that real quick because it is one of the problems that if you're gonna go out there and tell people, oh yeah, I'm TDIU, yada yada, I have back problems, yada yada, but you're working for a friend that that you're doing construction work on the side or something like that, whatever it is, that it affects your condition, it might be a problem if you're TDIU. Now, what I also wanted to explain is that individual unemployability and TDIU is not a permanent benefit, where individual unemployability, whether you're 100% or 60% or more, where you're 100, one of your ratings is 60% or more, you meet the requirements for individual unemployability, which you can apply for. But if you're TDIU and you are unable to maintain a job because of your conditions, but you don't have that 100%, then TDIU would be able to help you out to get you that 100% to hold you down, for an employment. And you can still do odds and end jobs on TDIU, but you have to meet these 3 requirements right here. Okay. The other one that I wanted to explain was the VA can require a claimant undergo periodic medical examinations to confirm that the claimant remains unable to work due to a service-connected condition. And as with all VA examinations, a failure to report for scheduled examination can result in suspension or termination of a TDIU benefit. Since the TDIU award is also based on employability, the VA can periodically request employment information from a claimant receiving TDIU benefits. The VA will also cross-check employment earnings with the IRS. The TDIU rating could be terminated and the claimant could be liable to repay VA for the TDIU benefits paid since that employment began. If the VA becomes aware that a claimant is working at a job that is not marginal or sheltered, as I was explaining before, a claimant must also be careful in performing volunteer work because the nature and the time spent at unpaid work shows that a claimant could be employed and is no longer unemployable. You get what I'm saying? Like I was previously stating, you need to be careful with these TDIU awards, or be mindful on who you tell what you have. I'm not saying that you might fall in that gray area where you can't hold down a job, but you can do certain things. Um, if you're TDIU, it might be a problem for you. So I'm gonna try to keep it, keep this video, um, short, simple. It might not be too short, but I just wanted to explain what individual unemployability and TDIU is. And if you guys wish to, to read this website, I will post the link under in the comment section, and you guys can go and read it on your own. All right, guys. Take care, and in the next video, the I'll be explaining total and permanent, and if there is time, I will throw in the temporary 100. All right, guys, and then there will be follow-up videos. All right, but I'm gonna try to bombard you guys with as much content as you guys have. I have the time. My job allows me to to keep you guys informed, and this is this all this information, I don't know, but it just is very interesting, and I want a lot of veterans to know about it. And if you're unable to do the legwork, it's fine. I'll do the legwork for you guys. All you guys got to do is just look at the videos and go to the websites yourselves and read it. I already did the majority of the work, which is finding it. All right, take care, guys. Bye bye.